I hope you're getting this shit right
No, he's
now.
not.
Oh, you can't really, man.
Hey, how awesome is the fight, guys?
How awesome is the Fight Guys again?
Oh man, the fat guys.
Look, just because you weigh 126 and I weigh 192.
I'm kidding. Hey, listen. The fight guys are freaking awesome. You know why? Because we talk about fight. You know why? Because we're men. We talk about fight. That's what we do. Is talk about fights. So we talk about women sometimes, right?
Yeah, what? Yes,
Now it's awesome.
The fight men.
the Fight Guys.
The fight guys, man, amazing.
All right, Fight Guys here once again, and we're here with the headliner of the co-main event for Manny Pacquiao versus Jesse Vargas, Nonito Donaire. We just had Jesse Magdaleno up here. He was talking about the fight. He was talking about your fight, how anticipated it has been even before it was announced, when the rumors were there, and even when you guys were facing off during other events and other fights. It was just so anticipated that you guys were going to fight. Now we have it. Obviously, we would like to thank you for your team making that fight, as we thank their team for making the fight. Your thoughts on Jesse Magdaleno as an opponent and being in the position that you were just a few years ago yourself?
You know, that kid is a great kid. You know, he goes out there very respectful. But looking at him and the way he fights, I mean, he's a strong fighter and he's a hungry guy. You know, but for me, it's I've had a lot of those in my resume. You know, all these undefeated, hungry guys who's trying to take what I have. You know, for me now, it's more the fact that I'm ready for him, and for the first time in a long time, man, I know exactly what I was gonna say in there. When I got in there, I got overcome with excitement. I haven't had that in a long time. I was more excited the fight is happening than me speaking. Usually I'm very composed. I know exactly what I'm talking about. This time I'm just like scrambling for words to say. And you don't see that often with me, but because I, for once in a very long time, have been really excited to see this fight happen.
Are you excited because you're... Are you excited because this guy, right?
You want me to do that for you, man?
He does.
He does good work.
He does good work with photography. I'm sure he does good
videography. This shit up.
Right? Right? That's what we need to do. That's what we need to do. Very good
So
idea.
anyways, what do you think? Look at that. Look at that.
That's a great idea.
Yo, see? Thank you very much.
$1 million idea here. Now, you say that you're very excited that it hasn't happened in some time. Are you excited because you're taking on a very dangerous opponent, because you're taking on a guy who's younger, who I'm not going to say is stronger, but some fight fans may assume because he's younger that he might be the stronger and bigger guy? What are your thoughts?
He might be a bigger guy, but he's not stronger. That's for sure.
Right.
I mean, in terms of power, I'm a one-punch knockout kind of guy. You know, even Salas was saying that every time he hits, every time I hit with the punch, you just feel this electricity running down his body. And I just hit really hard, you know, and he's gonna master. He's just trying to bring that out within me. But that doesn't matter if you can't hit your opponent or having the same strategy to execute inside the ring. But you know, being the older, more experienced fighter, I see what's coming at me. I'm composed, you know, as compared with him. A lot of things could go through it in his mind. You know, being young and being excited about this fight, that this is actually happening. You know, there could be a lot of things that's playing in his mind in terms of like nervousness, in terms of overwhelm. But sometimes people show up. I mean, for me, in that situation, I've always shown up.
Drake says he goes 0 to 100 real quick, right? How do you shake hands and then immediately go to 100? How do you shake your opponent's hand and be so pleasant, and then on fight night, say, I'm about to knock your ass out? How does that happen?
Well, it's called being in it for such a long time, you know. I've always been polite with everybody because I've always been that way. I mean, growing up, I was always picked on, so for me, I've always been just like this. And then when I was inside the ring, I wanted to kill everybody. And then
And you did.
and I got accustomed to that feeling. So now I can be pleasant with everybody, you know, hey, how you doing? But then when I'm inside that ring, I only have one mission, and that is to kill this guy. To be victorious. The outcome is victory. The outcome is to destroy anybody that stands in my territory. So that's pretty much what the mindset is. It's just in a snap of a finger, you're a different person.
Talk to us about something that you just mentioned right now, because it's still an issue that's going on nowadays. Like you said, when you were younger, you were actually bullied. It's inspired you to become the man that you are today. What message would you give a child right now that's being bullied and is going through certain situations that they don't know how to take or how to handle? What would your advice to them be to overcome what they're going through?
Well, the thing is, it's a really difficult situation for kids, is because the fact that they will not commit to it because they're afraid. One thing is that don't be afraid, but that's hard to say, because you're in that situation, and for me, it's just being honest with who you are. Know that the decision that you make at this moment in time will lead to your destination. So if you make the decision to stand up for yourself at this moment in time, it will lead courage, it will lead strength within your heart, that no matter what happens, I'm getting beat up anyway, why not stand up for it? You know what I mean? I'm just gonna stand up and I'm gonna say it to your face, and sometimes you will gain respect. Sometimes, you know what, oh man, this guy's a hungry lion, you know what? Alright, I respect that. But sometimes you might get your butt kicked, and that's okay because you're getting your butt kicked anyway, but at least you stood up for it. At least you didn't succumb to losing yourself, because I did. I ran away from it. But I got a lot of it back when I was boxing because I wanted to destroy everybody. And that was something, it's just a tough situation because I don't want to tell the kids out there to keep fighting, but use the resources that you have, your teacher, your video, your social network. You know what? Hey man, this guy's bullying me, man. Do this and do that. Look at teacher, I got proof over here. Now what?
Use that selfie stick.
So, exactly. So use resources. Whatever resources that you have, there's always something out there for you guys to protect yourself with. If you can't fight because they're bigger than you, you're always going to be smarter than them. So always empower yourself knowing that you're better than them. And you can always be better than that. So, again, you guys have it all. You guys have it all within you guys to just find it. Don't be afraid. Because failure and defeat is always going to be there. I've done it so many times. But as long as you get up, the only time you will fail and be defeated is if you say no more and I give up. But if you say you keep going, no matter how many times you get dropped, and if you stand up, you're always going to learn something better. And what happens when you learn something better is you're going to be a better man, a better person, a better woman, a better person, a better whoever it is. Because now you learn what failure is about, and now you can take in what success is about because of the failures that you have. And like they say, now we're going about failures. How many successful men, they have hundreds and tons of failures in their lifetime, but that's what make them become successful, is to take in those failures and create who they are. Take it in and accept it, and learn from it. So I don't know, he's getting all deep.
I asked you in a separate interview, if victorious, would you remain at 122, or would you consider moving up to 126 pounds and taking on one of your stablemates in Top Rank, Oscar Valdez, who's the WBO featherweight champion? What do you think about that fight? Is that something that we can possibly see in your future? I
haven't looked at it. For now, I want to take over the 122 division, but I haven't looked into the Valdez yet. I mean, he's a really nice kid. I have so much respect for the kid, and I was telling them, like, look, listen, you have a lot of potential, but don't let the success get into you because you will fall. Mm-hmm. But if you are grateful about things that you have in life, like your friends, your family, or your partner, or whatever it is, but if you're grateful, you will always look at each day and take it, rather than be like, oh man, I'm dragging my feet. Right. But if you're grateful for being there, man, I'm telling you, you're always gonna be there for a long time. And I was telling them that. So
beyond,
come on, man, let's go fight. What is this?
no,
Dr.
that's
Phil?
that's what I was about to go to. Beyond your fight with Jesse Magdaleno, we have Oscar Valdez versus Hiroshogi Osawa. And also,
say it again.
Hiroshogi. I don't know how to say it properly. I'm gonna try to butcher it. And then we also have Zhu Shiming on the card. It's a very
what?
We have Zhu Shiming. I can say his name properly.
I can't say his name either. So.
All right. But what are your thoughts on the card as a whole? Zhu Shiming opening the card, then Valdez and Osawa, then yourself and Magdaleno, and then also Pacquiao versus Vargas.
That's a great card. I mean, again, it's a historical card with me and Manny for the Filipino community, but you got Shiming, who who's making his name, who's a gold medalist, and then of course you have me and Magdaleno. I said Jesse in my head, and then But with Magdaleno and the hunger that he has, the redemption and hunger that I have, it's gonna be an interesting fight. It's gonna be an all-out fight because for him he's all or nothing, because this is his make or break point. But at the same time, for me, it's the same way. And then you have Oscar Valdez, who's an up-and-coming guy who's just incredibly talented.
What are your thoughts on the main event? Obviously, the big fight, the legend Manny Pacquiao versus the champ Jesse Vargas. A lot of people don't necessarily really like this fight. A lot of people wanted it to be Terrence Crawford, but Jesse Vargas does bring a lot to the ring. He has a very good style. He could be a brawler and a boxer. Always walks around with a chip in his shoulder, and that type of fighter right there is dangerous, especially if you really have nothing to lose. He may have that belt to lose, but if you lose it to a legend, it's not as losing it to like an up-and-comer or a challenger.
Well, nobody likes to lose their belt, regardless if it's a legend or not. You know, you go out there and you fight, and that's one thing that Jesse is gonna do. Is he's gonna fight his art. You know, Vargas, he's gonna fight his heart out. You know, and the thing that people don't take point of how technical Jesse can be. You know, and we know how sometimes Pacquiao has a difficulty with technical fighters. You know, and so that's why this is going to be an interesting fight, because not only that Jesse's technical, but he's young, but at the same time he's way taller than Manny. But of course, if Manny shows up, the Manny that we saw a couple years back, then he's going to be a very, very dangerous Manny. But that's sometimes what we're looking forward with Manny. But then because of all the distraction that he has, will he show up as a Manny a year younger?
Canelo Triple G. Will that fight happen? And part two of that question is Oscar De La Hoya slowing that fight up?
In your eyes.
In my eyes. In your eyes, yes.
In my eyes. I was about to start singing.
You're
My
about to
Eyes,
sing.
yeah.
You're about to sing Soundgarden, aren't you?
Yeah. Canelo's a great fighter, and as well as Triple G. And they're both dangerous fighters. They both can box. They both can counter. They're pretty much the same type of fighter, just the Mexican style and the Russian style. You know, and they're both dangerous. And I think that's going to be an incredible fight. Will that fight happen? I think so. If they continue to win that fight, they will not go anywhere else. Because when they start taking everybody down, chopping everybody down, there's only two of them. And what happens is it's going to be a mega fight. You can push it all you want, and that's fine. People don't understand, because what happens with this era and time is instant gratification. We want it now.
We do.
Yeah.
We want it now.
Agreed.
You know, and look what happened with Mayweather and Pacquiao. It became a 200-300 million fight. Will Triple G and Canelo get to that level? Well, we know that Canelo can pack 50,000 people.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and at the same time, added to Triple G's fan, that's much more. And I think Vegas in itself will sell out. You know, and not only that, but when it comes down to becoming a fight that people really want to see, it's a mega fight. And you know, and I keep telling people this, it's like boxers don't become boxers to run away from other boxers. Just doesn't. I mean, you know, they're gonna have advice from people because their manager are afraid to tell it. But sometimes if a fighter says, I want to fight this guy, and then his manager says, no, that's too dangerous, they're not gonna fight. Because sometimes it's the manager and the promoter that makes the fight. You know, as much as the fighter wants to, but it's like the advice of, you know, if you want to make a lot of money in the future, let's play this game. You know, like there's a lot of things that goes behind it, and what you see is the surface of it, not the root.
Pound for pound is a mythical ranking that all of us have, media members, fans alike. You were a pound for pound champion at a point. Right now, besides yourself, who would you say is the number one fighter in this world? Andre Ward, and why?
Well, Dre has fought everybody. You know, Dre has fought everybody. He's taken everybody in his division, and he's never afraid to fight anyone. And as you know, I mean, he's fighting Kovalev.
Yeah.
Who's fighting Kovalev these days? Andre Ward.
Yeah.
And who has he fought? Everybody in his division? He fought Kessler. He fought Abraham. He fought Jermaine Taylor, or whoever it was in that division, and he took it all down. He took them all down. Even the Cobra. What's his name?
Carl
Froch.
Yeah,
And Froch
everybody.
was a very dangerous guy, but he fought everybody. and that's something that this guy, I've known him for a long time,
Yeah.
and he, you know, and he knows how to dissect people's fight. You know, he knows how to take away your weapon, so that you won't be able to power up. He knows how to take and disrupt your movement, so you won't be able to get that proper timing against him. And he's done that throughout the guys he's fought, and he's fought everybody.
With that said, do you believe he beats Kovalev on November 19th?
Strategy is always beat brute force. If Kovalev got the brute force, we all know that it's really not that. I mean, just from ancient stories from David and Goliath. Goliath could have stomped on David, but you know, he whooped him with a slingshot in his
And a
head.
rock, yep.
You know, that's it, right? But it's a sample that we have throughout our lives. Is with the proper strategy, we can conquer anything we want.
Right.
You know, and with the proper strategy with Andre Ward, no matter whatever manner of monster that comes in Kovalev, if Andre can take away that weapon that the monster had, he no longer becomes a monster.
I don't want to take too much of your time, but another fight that Top Rank is putting together is Lomachenko versus Walters. What are your thoughts on that fight? Who do you think is taking home that victory?
Well, that's a really good question, because at this moment in time, Lomachenko has proven himself well, but then at the same time, Walters has proven himself well as well. I mean,
Right.
I'm in that category. He put me in his list, you know, and Walters is a hard hitter, heavy-handed guy. Now that I'm thinking about it more, I mean, lefty and right-handed, he has a straight, and that's a weapon that every left-hander is gonna want to stay away. But then you have Lomachenko, who has this lateral movement, beautiful lateral movement. But the beauty of what that is he's too perfect, meaning that his lateral movements are what you can read.
Oh, okay. I see.
He's too perfect. So if he can read those lateral movements, then he can land that straight, because it's easier to time somebody who's perfect at moving. But at the same time, if he does it, Lomachenko will take it to him in every direction, especially being southpaw, going this way, going that way, this way, and getting up, bam, bam, bam. But then if you find that timing, boop, 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 because there's a rhythm in Lomachenko. If you find that rhythm with Lomachenko, it's easy. It's easy to counter. If you look at his fight, the way he fights, the way he moves, it's never abrupt. It's always the same type of movement that he does.
Right.
So when you see that rhythm, it's easy to counter him. You know, one thing that made Rigondeaux was difficult, because he was all over the place. You know, he had the rhythm of moving, but for me, I was just going out there for a knockout.
Right.
But now that I'm looking at it, he has this rhythm of just going this and that, you know, and that's what makes it difficult. But then with Lomachenko, he's very composed. It's almost
Like a song. Like
yeah,
fluidity.
yeah. But then with Walters as well, he also has his rhythm. But one thing that Walters did that changed the fight for me was I went out there to kill him.
Yeah.
Right? But then he knew that I was powerful. He knew that I was strong, and he should not take those punches. And what happened was he started stepping back and throwing the uppercut, because he knows I was going to come in with the hook.
Because you heard him, I think, in the third round.
The second round.
Or second round, okay.
Yeah. Unless I got hit too hard that I don't remember it was the third round.
It was early in the fight.
It was early in the
it was
fight.
the second
It was
round.
early in the fight.
So it was the second round. But that's the thing, is that people don't, because of how stiff he is, that he doesn't use his head, but he uses his head a lot, and that's something that I commend with Walter, is because he's a very intelligent guy as well. But now if he figure out his rhythm, that's a different story.
Do you still want to pursue a fight against Rigondeaux in a rematch?
But I want to pursue a fight with Walters, with Frampton, with everybody. It's Christmas, man. Just give it to me.
Right.
You know, if they're better than me, hey, they're better than me. But you will see me go at it.
I like it.
They'll basically
I
have to prove it to you that they're better than you.
They have to prove it to me. And then if they do it once, that doesn't prove it to me. They gotta do it twice. If they do it twice, okay, you know what? You're better than me. But hey, they've only done it once. If they do it twice, then okay, I will say, you know what? You are better than me. So let's make the fight happen. That's pretty much what my answer is.
The Fight Guys here with Nonito Donaire. We thank you for your
Fight Guys,
time.
okay? The Fight Guys.
All right, we thank you for your time, Nonito. Please let us know where the fans can follow you, get to know more about you, get to see more about you, and of your other hobbies besides boxing.
At Filipino Flash is my Twitter. Nonito Donaire Jr. is my Instagram, and Nonito Donaire, I know I got all this, I didn't think of it quite well, is my Facebook. The one with a lot of following is my guy, because there's so many fake stuff out there. The one with the check on it, that's me.
You're certified, right?
Yeah. So again, follow me and you'll see. You might learn something, because the way I go out there is I always empower people to be at their best. You know, and one thing that I'm gonna empower you right now is tell a proper story, a story that empowers you, because in life we are told that this is who we are. Therefore, we tell ourselves that this is what we're capable of. But if you tell a story that creates an abundance within your mind, you're limitless. So be limitless, my friend. That was like Bruce Lee shit right there.
As always, man, Nonito, you're great. Thank you for your time. Thank you for everything.
Hey,
Fight
thank you,
Guys,
man.
Dominic,
Appreciate it, man.
Fred,
Thank you, man.
myself.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nonito, for your time and the breakdowns for everything.
Hey,
That was a
man,
great
man.
breakdown, because because you're absolutely right when you say that Lomachenko fights a perfect fight. And that's how I describe it.
It's like ba 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 ba. It's just the same rhythm, you know, ba 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 ba, and just ba 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 ba.
Careful, watch it.
Just same rhythm. But the thing is,
You
if
can break that rhythm.
I love breaking those rhythms.
Yeah.
That's the thing is, you know, you
How
can.
do you break someone's rhythm? Was it the double jab, or is it? How do you catch
Well,
them in between?
when see, the thing is, in every person, and this is what I'm gonna study with Magdaleno, is that there is a signature.
Oh, you're right. Every boxer has a signature.
Everybody has a signature movement beforehand. Even us, the way we talk, the way the way we think,
The way we walk.
the way we walk, there's always a signature. There's always that route before we do anything. It's a signal. You know, it's like a pitcher. Once you figure out that pitcher's signature, you know, then you're gonna hit home runs all day, right? So like with Darchinyan, before he did something, he did this, and I know exactly.
Yeah, and that's when you came in, and you came in with the uppercut.
So I knew exactly what it was gonna be, because I know that he does this to jab, to set up with this. So when you went, boom,
You caught him with that.
Got him.
So that's every man and everything. Is that this time I had stopped doing it because I got too complacent. But now I'm starting all over again in creating. See, the thing is, when you watch the fight over enough, you'll learn how they breathe. You learn how they think. You learn how they move, and you learn how the rhythm is. And when you go in there, it's already game over. So you know that's pretty much what it is with thing, especially with Lomachenko and everybody else. I haven't watched fight in a long time. This is the first time I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna go back the way I did it before, which is every day just watch the fight until I know how to fight the way that guy fights. Because like when I fought Darchinyan, I started learning how he fought.
Yeah.
Because I was watching. I was watching. You know, I was watching the way he fought. But because I started learning how he fought, then I knew exactly what he was gonna do. Don't fall, man. You know. So, but that's what it is. It's just again, like every person, every man. You know, the way they're talking, the way like if you get along for a long time with your partner, you know if they're lying. You know the way they talk, the way their breathing becomes, because you just start to listen to who they are.
I told you she would find out.
That's all. Yeah, you were right.
Yeah, dang it. Damn. So, you know, but that's pretty much what it is. Yes, ma'am. You out of here? All right, brother. Good seeing you.
All right. Oh, yeah, no, perfect. Thank you, Nonito, for your time.
All right, man. You guys.
Fight Guys here. As stated, we were at the Manny Pacquiao versus Jesse Vargas undercard. As you saw, we got to speak with Nonito Donaire. We got to speak with his opponent, Jesse Magdaleno, and his trainer, Manny Robles. We'll bring you more of these type
And Mrs. Donaire.
And Mrs. Donaire for a little bit.
Who has the biggest ring in boxing? Yeah.
We will bring you more of these type of events and shows when media events happen here in Los Angeles. We try to bring you guys closer to not only us, but to the fights and the fighters themselves and their trainers. That's what the Fight Guys is all about, and we'll see you guys later. Have a great one. For Dominic Verdeen of Ring TV and IFLTV.com, Frederick Hawthorne of Barbershop Conversations, Fernando B. Matilla, BehindTheGloves.com, saying we'll see you guys at the fights.